Grace and peace. I'm here to invite you to our community-wide meeting on September 11th at 11 o'clock a.m. following the morning liturgy. It'll be a potluck, so bring a dish to pass if you're able. There'll be an option for the kids so that we'll have some space to have conversation together. And we hope that in addition to casting our vision for the next 6 to 12 months and getting us reconnected after the summer coming back together, it'll also be a time where we'll get to know one another around the table as we talk about some work that is ahead of us and also celebrate some of the reasons that work is worth doing. As some of you may know, this September marks the 10th year that the Southwedge Mission has been here at 125 Caroline Street. 10 years ago, the Lutheran Church asked me to start a community in this area. And since then, we've grown to be this amazing group of folks we have before us. We've gone through many iterations, but throughout that time, we've committed to the same mission, providing safe haven for the religiously homeless, meaningful work for the spiritually underemployed, pursuing God's vision of shalom, which is the healing and the restoration and the cultivation of life between us and God, us within the church and between other religious communities, us between the city and the neighborhood and the world around us, and between us and the creation, the watershed, the world of God's good things. I believe that work that we do together is some of the most important, exciting, and beautiful work any of us will do in our life. And I hope that by gathering on September 11th to talk about how that work will look in the next year, it'll help all of us to feel more clear about where we're going, feel more excited about who we're getting to do this work with, and have a better sense of why this work is worth doing. This is the year that we as a church are going to organize, to go from being a pastor, denomination-led community towards a community that says, we are the shareholders. We are the ones who will take stewardship and responsibility for this place, and we are the ones who are going to discern and set the direction of how we will be available for that work of cultivation and healing for years to come. It's exciting work, and it's also going to be some work. And so we hope that as we enter into this time of work over the next 6 and 12 months, we can do so in a way that isn't just a burden, but also helps to build relationships, helps us to feel some joy and some pleasure in that sense of ownership and stewardship and shareholdership. And also that we'll understand that why doing this work is so important, how it sets a foundation for us to continue to do the enjoyable, wonderful, and important work that we do for years to come. There's going to be a series of 3 videos that we're going to put out over the next 3 weeks. This one today about kind of our vision and getting some feedback from you about where we're at as a community. One about finances and stewardship, which will ask us some questions about how we feel about that and how we might help ourselves tell our story in a way that invites more people into partnership. And we'll have a video about our guild system we're starting. This idea of joining small groups that are relationship and people-centered that will help us to get done some of the various work around the church. I'll leave those second 2 for the videos to come, but I hope that you watch each of these videos and fill out the survey that comes with each of them so that when we get to the meeting on September 11th, it doesn't have to be just an information dump, but it's something we've prepared for and thought about so that there'll be space for conversation and space for reflection and space for feedback. We want to hear your voice. Part of organizing as a community is understanding that I exist as a pastor, Georgia exists as your deacon, even the mission table exists as the volunteer leadership team, not to tell you what to do, but to listen to what you're hearing, what you're experiencing, what you're feeling called to be concerned about and you're feeling called to pursue, and to make sure that this community is reflecting and is enacting and is seeking to best steward the visions, the hopes, the struggles, and the questions that the Spirit has placed on the hearts of the members and the participants in this community. So I hope that you'll take the survey that we sent out today, be honest, give constructive feedback, also share what you think is going well. This is not another, visioning process. We're gonna have some big, rollout of stuff. It's just a chance to get to hear where you're at, to hear your voice, and to see how we can continue to experiment and explore and make sure that what happens here is not only reflective of you, but is benefiting you and helping you to grow and to feel nurtured and to feel connected. We want to be a community that's centered on relationships, where we know each other's needs and struggles and desires and hopes, and that we seek to take care of those and to steward those and to hear those and to tell those stories and to look for ways to build one another up. Many churches say that they're a family church, but we really want to make sure that as we pursue some of this other kind of more technical work around money and volunteer work, that at the heart of it remains this commitment to relationships. Relationships where we can come together and hear one another's struggles and help heal one another's trauma and be a safe haven where we can heal and grow and restore. A place where when we do have meaningful work to do, we can see it as an opportunity to get together with friends and family and to be building something like our gardens that we know will not only benefit us, but will be of benefit to the world. So by sharing this information on these surveys, by keeping that vision in mind, that all these things we're doing as part of enacting our vision of shalom, of providing safe haven, of providing meaningful work, of trying to be a space of healing and cultivation and restoration, that all of these things are connected towards us telling our story, the story of how we want to be part of that work. We want to be part of that healing. We want to be a practice-based community where even the practices of giving and the practices of guild work and the practices of filling out surveys and doing reflective work are part of the spiritual practice, which has enabled us to continue to do the amazing things as a community that we do. The ways that we pursue social justice so that all are free to experience their belovedness for themselves. The practices of creating space that are participatory and that are being producers instead of consumers. Creating spaces where our goal is not just to be more holy or to be more whole, but also to have joy and pleasure and delight in being together and practicing our spirituality together and discovering new depths of the Spirit's dream and of Christ's presence in our midst. So thank you in advance for taking this time ahead of time to be prepared for our September 11th meeting. It's not just about that meeting, but it really is about practicing believing that your voice matters, that we need to hear from you, that we need your work, that we need your dreams, and that we also need the gift of who you are and who you bring to this community. At the end of the day, what we're doing here in this organizing process is not really fulfilling some denominational requirement. We're saying to one another, yes, this work is important. I love being a part of this community, even when it's hard. I believe that this community is something important to me, and I'd like to see it continue, not just for me and my family, but because I believe there's something here that is good and worth sharing, worth doing, worth cultivating, and worth giving to the world. Thank you for being part of that work. Thank you for the support you've given to me and my family this summer. Thank you for the support you've given to one another. Thank you for making the September 11th meeting a priority and for coming with your voice, your hopes, and your questions. We'll look forward to seeing you there. We'll look forward to reading your surveys and reading hearing your voice. And we'll look forward to sharing this work we're going to get to do as we move into the next stage, which is really just the beginning stage of being the Southledge mission for the next 10, 20, 30, hopefully as many years as God gives us to be. Thank you, grace and peace, and we'll see you soon.